This is the scene entering Occupy Albany across from the Capitol in Academy and Lafayette Parks. The sawhorse shows where the dividing line is between the state park and the city park. And the tents straight ahead are in the family camping area. I'm going to take a walk down and see if the General Assembly is taking place at its customary location near one of the monuments. It appears it's been relocated. The General Assembly is now taking place right directly across the street from City Hall. It's a beautiful park with lots of specimen trees. This is the family camping area. We'll head up there later. Very windy out. Occupy Albany is going to get rained on tonight. Let's listen in.
You don't have to repeat, trust me. Okay, first of all, I am a Revolutionary War reenactor. I belong to Toriel's Ferry Militia in New Hope, Pennsylvania. You can find me on the web if you look. If I learn one thing about liberty, it is this, is that you have to stand strong, and there will be times you'll have to stand alone. But you have this right according to the Constitution. It says in the Constitution, if you don't like our government, we have the right to take it down. So, what you're doing is American, amazing, and I'm very proud of being with you. And as a Bostonian, let me tell you, liberty is not a word to me. It is life to me. We were the ones who picked the fight with the British to get our rights. And if I learned one thing, is that if you want your rights in this country, you have to fight for them. And sometimes sacrifice. In my case, I've even been before. But stay strong, depend on, you all need each other. Depend on what you have. You have the will and the nod and the strength. Then remember one thing, and one thing most important, every one of you are Americans. You are entitled to certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that is your goal. I wish you well, and if you need me, let me know. Thank you very much.
Woo! Okay, we need to get to our meeting. Let's do it. We need to do a brief review of hand signals, particularly because there's a slight difference tonight. You're all probably familiar with this by now. You can do that. It says I agree. It's an American Sign Language for applause. This we're using to say disagree. Sometimes you'll hear taking a temperature check or something like that, where we'll ask you to do one or the other. But there's a third option, which is straight out in front of you, which is kind of, I don't know, iffy. You could also just go, but this is nice because we can actually read it. Other hand signals you see are this and this. Before I talk about that, I want to just say The way that you get onto speaking order, which we call stack, is we'll say we're taking stack now. You'll raise your hand, and our stack takers, Nicole and Colin, will come around and take your name down. That's how you get onto speaking order. However, these are ways to jump the speaking order, which means what you have to say takes precedence over the people who raise their hand in turn. So that seems pretty rude if you're not doing that properly. If you're doing this, what this means is you have a point of process. The process is broken down. There's something wrong with the way that the facilitators are proceeding with the meeting. Only do that if you're really talking about a point of process. Otherwise, you're jumping the stack and doing so in a way that is completely rude to the people who are waiting their turn. This is similar. This jump stack. It's a one finger in the air that kind of looks like the letter I. It means point of information. That means you have a piece of information that the group is not aware of that can shorten the conversation. So, factual information, not an opinion. So for example, if I said, we're planning a march tomorrow at 3 p.m., and you know that the march, I have a point of information. 4 p.m. Thank you very much. That is the proper use of a point of information. A little bit more information about the process is required here, because our next hand signal is this. This means I'm blocking something. That comes up only when there is a proposal on the floor and the facilitator has called for consensus. That is very, very serious. A block is very serious. And the facilitation working group has been discussing the way that we use blocks here, and we've got a new way to describe the block. Formerly, we said that a block was used when you had a moral or ethical concern about the proposal. There's a problem with that. I have never heard that language before in 15 years of collective organizing, collective process, consensus-based decision making. Instead, the language that I've always heard from every group I've ever worked with was that you were blocking because you thought that the proposal was contrary or in conflict with the goals or the interests of this group. If you are blocking, it shouldn't be because it's against your personal opinion. It's against your personal views. And to illustrate that, I'll tell you this. I am vegan. I've been vegan since May of 1997. It's very important to me. And I am not going around blocking everything at this GA that doesn't have anything to do with veganism. I'm not blocking the fact that chicken is being served by the food committee. I have a moral objection to that. But I don't have an objection to the way that is helping feed this group. It's in the interest of this group to get whatever food we're donated. My moral ethical objection is only about me personally, not about the collective goals. So when you choose to block a proposal, keep that in mind. It's all about the goals or the interests of the collective. Are there any questions about that? Are there any questions about that before we move on? Okay.
About that or in general?
About just
block. Okay.
Wait, can you just go through the symbols really quick again?
Sure. I agree. I disagree. Nah. I block because I think that this is wrong for the group. It goes against or is contrary to the group's goals or interests. What else? Oh, point of process means there's something wrong with the way the process is going right now. Point of information, I have a piece of factual information to correct something that is unknown or misconceived by the person speaking or the general discussion.
The stack thing.
Stack, you're just going to raise your hand when we say we're going around to take stack. That's when you can raise your hand and get on stack. Sound okay?
Yes.
Let's move on. What a process.
The volume one might be a pertinent one for this.
Good point. Yes, we have one point of process. He raised the concern that volume, we have a couple of symbols for volume. This means please speak louder. You might also see people doing this. If you see that, go ahead and do a mic check. That was a point of process, sort of. Oh, we had another point of process. I disagree, and that sounds like something that we should talk about in a meeting outside of this. Thank you. Okay, we need to move on because it's taking too long. Blah, blah, blah.
I have a quick point of process. Because I'm ignorant. How does someone ask a question? Is that point of process, or do you have to get on stack to ask a question?
You get on stack to ask a question.
Okay, thank you.
All right, everybody. We had a few people walk up to us last night to have their voices heard and to possibly make proposals. But unfortunately, we were unable to continue the meeting any longer. So I collected their names, and I will now read them off. If it's you, then please come up here and speak. First, we have Mike on carryover from yesterday. No Mike? Okay, what about Rob? No? Kayla?
Okay, well, one of the things I noticed yesterday. One of the things I noticed yesterday was people were getting really frustrated. And I think what people are losing is the idea of what a General Assembly is. This isn't a government.
This isn't a government.
It is a community tool.
It is a community tool
So we can make a better community.
so we can make a better community.
What we have is a blank map before us where we can build. What our working groups are are the stone cutters. And they cut our stones. Bring it before us. And that's where we choose. Which stones we'll build with. What I've noticed people, they are trying to have stones cut here. General Assembly is not the place for cutting stones. It's a place for choosing stones and polishing. I think once we get back to that basic, General Assembly will be smoother. And a lot quicker. And another issue that I noticed people were having with the idea of the peace and safety group. It's not a security group necessarily. It's not a group enforcing, oh, you can't do that, you can't do this. They're peacekeepers. Going, are you okay? And if I can help you. And I thought was a major concern that people got upset over that.
That's what I thought was a major concern that people got upset about.
I think that's all I got for now.
Nice job.
Okay, last on the carryovers from yesterday, we have Chris.
I think I can project without mic check. Can you hear me?
Yes, not that great.
Save a little time. Women's Building Coordinator Carmen asked me why all these actions that look so cool that we're planning, like the march and various daily events that we're doing as a group, are not available on our website, and she offered to help getting it, either if she can give access to the website, or if we just text her or call her or email her, or whatever's easy with the smartphone function that some of us have, to tell her this is what we're planning for the next 3 days. She can help get it out to the wider community, and she's offered that help. So let's use that help. a lot of us here know what's going on, but our sisters and brothers who can't join us in the park would love to be supportive. So let's keep getting it out there. Thank you. And I don't have those phones or tools myself, so I'm counting on someone else here to do that. If you need her email, I'm happy to give you that. It is...
I can just jump ahead and say that I'm one of the admins for the website, and I know Carmen and can take care of that connection.
Fabulous.
We had someone raise his finger and say that he can help her get into contact with us. Okay, next is working group report backs, and no working groups actually came to us to get on the agenda today. So far all we have is a facilitation working group. Are there any other working groups that have a report back?
Sanitation. Yeah, sanitation we have.
Okay, wait, well, so sanitation, what are you?
Outreach.
Outreach, what other working groups? Okay, can we hear from sanitation first?
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Mike.
Working group report back. What were you with?
What kind of machine?